right because I am so convinced that God would not give us so many diseases by design. So there's something must be wrong with all of us that we are choosing to be sick rather than being healthy. So the only and only reason, without any logic, I was very clear that it is the food that is making us sick. Because what you eat is what you are. The so-called logic is that when you are born, you are this small, and you start drinking milk, your mother's milk, that is. Then within 6 weeks, you are bigger. I thought, that means what is going inside is building this body. So if that goes wrong, what is going inside is not right, then everything is going wrong. So this was the logic for it. So that means if something is going inside and it can make you sick, that means something is wrong with the food. Why is something wrong with the food? Because almost everyone is becoming sick. 1990s itself, we had so many diseases. And young boys and girls were sick. See, that was another important observation for me. By 1990 itself, diabetes was on the rise. 1970s, 2 or 3 people were diabetic in 100. In 1990s, it was 10 people out of 100 were diabetic. By 2000, it became 15. 2015, it became 30. So the progression of the disease was picking up pace. That means it was simple for me to decipher that in the last 15-20 years, something is seriously going wrong with our food. And no one connected that it is the food that is the source of all our diseases. So this being the case, then if I have to prove that it is so the earlier generations didn't eat this food. So they should not have these diseases. The first logic was, so if I go back and see if these diseases were there mentioned, lo and behold, it was very clear there was no cancer, there was no diabetes. 1 in 10 lakh people had diabetes, the statistics. Not only in India, all over the world actually. So that means now you have 30 people out of 100, almost all over the world diabetes. It was such a simple logic for me to connect and say, oh, guys, we are doing something wrong. But then what has actually happened in the last 30, 40 years, the whole medical world, the scientists, are nowhere in the ballpark. They are all talking, this is because of this, because of this, because of that, lifestyle, because of hereditary, because of this, all this they are talking. If it is because of hereditary issues, then 3 generations behind, no one had. So all this logic that these doctors are telling us, I was very clear, they are fooling us, nothing else. Because if what they were telling is true, then we should have become all right, because they are telling us the reason, we are correcting, they are telling that you can correct this, but no one is getting better. The numbers are increasing. On top of it, young boys and girls started getting diseases. So in 1970s, The diabetes was seen only in elders, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Then you come to 1990s, 2000, 2010, young boys, 20 years old are getting diabetes. Now the sad news is 6 out of 100 boys and girls below the age of 12 have got diabetes. So it's not just the numbers increasing.
Can you hold it closer, please?
It is just not the numbers increasing. It is the age of the deceased persons of various kinds of diseases has started coming down. And what more proof do you want to come to the conclusion that it is the food that has gone wrong in the last 30, 40 years? You don't need to do any more analysis. So I was so thoroughly convinced when I came to America first time and met a small girl menstruating at the age of 6. And I went and asked the doctor right in Portland, Oregon. So, sir, what went wrong with this girl? No, you see, 9 years is normal age that the girls are menstruating. This girl is little early. That's the answer. And that shows that these doctors and scientists were not interested in what is going on. So I felt sick of the science, that it is not bothered about this natural phenomena of women reaching the adulthood. Not only in India, all over the world was 15, 16. In America, in 1975 to 85 itself, the ladies started menstruating earlier and earlier. So much so that now the average of Americans has come to 8. By 8 years, people are menstruating. And lo and behold, the same food habits started getting imported to India. And the same problems started happening after 10 years. So India also started having girls menstruating at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10. Below 10 there also. It's not 1, 2, 3. 70 out of 100. This is the sad story. So in 1987 I recognized this pattern because American babies have been fed by this so-called milk, artificial milk that they generated through biotechnology. Jersey cows, because actually these guys didn't have cows. They brought them, then did all this genetic engineering and then produced a lot of milk. One cow giving you 15 liters. So they had to resort to all unnatural means, IVF technology, in vitro fertilization. And sadly now that is applied to human beings, because now human beings also have stopped having the ovum release, all that gone haywire because of the same reasons that the hormonal imbalance caused because of drinking milk in large quantities. So now the moment I talk to people, don't give milk to your babies. Does that sentence sound any? Don't give milk to your baby means people all used to look at me. What kind of statement is this? Don't give milk to babies? So when I explain milk, cow's milk has to go into the mouth of the calves. Your milk should go into the mouth of your baby, and that's all. And that is the logic, scientific logic, why you should not feed cow's milk to your baby. Because the hormone balance, the growth factors, the regulators, all are designed for the cow's baby to grow, not for your baby's growth. For that you have the milk, which is to be fed directly from your breast the nipple of your breast to the mouth of the baby. And this is the definition. So, what it amounts to is milk is something which is the most unstable product. It should not be kept even for a minute outside. It has to be delivered directly to the baby's mouth. And that is the definition of milk. Whether it is cow giving milk or elephant giving milk or tiger giving milk to its baby. So when definition being what it is, then how do you think you are doing right when you feed your babies in plastic bottles with plastic nipples and add loads of sugar? So when I started talking like this, people were just not even listening to me. Hey, this guy is bogus, he's telling don't give milk to the babies. Now the problem is not understanding it. It has entered to the culture of our parents. Giving milk means that's it. The motherhood is satisfied. You have not given milk. The first question that a husband comes home and Papa Panichava, it's as if that's the only thing. If you do, that's enough. If you have not done that, even the mothers, oh, and that's the kind of cultural domains the whole human race has entered. Because it's all being pushed, not only into your mouths, into your brains. So, the most unscientific thing that should not happen has happened in the name of science. And on top of it, if you don't give milk, you will not get calcium. They went on building story after story to make this nonsense thing to be called scientific. So when I said don't give milk, alternative ఏమిటి? First thing is you are not supposed to do it. And then you go on doing it. And then say don't do it. What is the alternative for doing this? And the same story has come with coffee. Same story with eggs. Same story. Everything is the same story. Now we are all eating rice and wheat. You are not supposed to eat rice and wheat. Because the definition of food is not the same. All these things have been pushed on to us, the so-called industrial food culture. I call it industrial food culture. We make everything in large quantities because it suits the business. So it is the businesses started deciding what the world is. So I started telling people, you guys don't know what food is. And in the so-called TV opera, this is junk food. I said, you are not eating junk food, you are eating junk. The reason is, when you eat this, junk is generated in the body. So what is the definition of food? Food is something that gives you energy, growth, and then keeps you healthy. How do you become healthy? Only when the dirt that is generated in your body is removed on a daily basis or at least weekly basis. So the definition of food is to make you healthy also. But then we have been becoming sick in the last 30-40 years. As if it is not enough, we have been begetting kids who are mentally retarded, special children we are calling them, and we are calling them differently abled, and we call them autistic. All these names are just to suit you politically and administratively. But the problem is, that we are not begetting functionally right kids. That means we have screwed up something beyond our health. That means our sperms and our worms are also not healthy. So it is not only the generation that this body, the next generation's health also we have screwed up. Before even being born, we have now 23% of babies are autistic or specially gifted or differently abled or whatever names they use. తెలుగులో బుద్ధిమాంద్య పిల్లలు. The situation gets worse. And till today, no one is linking all these problems to the food that you are eating. గుడ్లు తినకూడదా? This is the expression. గుడ్లు తినకూడదు. గుడ్లు తినండి అని ఎవరు చెప్తారు? Why does a chicken and hen lay eggs? నీ కోసం పెడుతుంది. నువ్వు తినేదానికని గుడ్లు పెడుతుంది. It's laying eggs so that a baby comes out of it. Protein కావాలి కదా. This is the state of mind, and these are the questions asked by so-called MBBS, MD doctors of the world. Not common man, not an engineer, not a ISRO satellite, missile పంపిస్తే ఆ మిషన్ అలాంటి సైంటిస్టులు కాదు నేను చెప్పేది. There are food technologies. CFTR అయిన ఒక ప్లేస్ ఉంది మా మైసూర్. There is an institute, Central Food Technology Research Institute. That means they are supposed to be working on food. They say don't eat eggs. ప్రోటీన్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది? ఓకే, ఎగ్లో ప్రోటీన్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది? First of all, no one knows how much protein is there in the egg. Does anyone know how much protein is there in the egg? Okay, meat, మాంసము ప్రోటీన్. ఎంత మాంసంలో ఎంత ప్రోటీన్ ఉంది? Say 100 grams of meat you have eaten. How much protein is there in it? Same 100 grams of any lentils, any dicotyledon you eat, you have more protein than any meat that you want to eat. You take any kind of meat, cow's meat, bull meat, pig meat, fish meat, whatever meat you want. You can eat your own meat, no problem. You have 16 to 18% is protein. All these lentils have minimum 20%. And the protein that you are getting in your body is because of some jinkano, some either tinindi, dantlo protein. Aa protein inko protein. So the proteinaceous matter is made by plants only. The amino acids, the proteins, they are building up. And you eat that, then from that amino acid you make in different all that is, but the initial nitrogen fixation is done by the plants. And you don't need more than 8% of protein. అంటే మీరు మాంసం తిన్నా కానీ ఇంతకంటే ఎక్కువ అవసరం లేదు. ఎక్కువైతే it creates trouble to your kidneys. సో పెసరట్టు కూడా ఎక్కువ తినకండి అని చెప్తున్నాను. That's what it means. So all these facts are being completely carpeted by this industrial food culture. That means be it doctor, be it scientist, be it the companies, be it the politicians. It's all become now business. So the facts in the name of science have been handed over to you that you get calcium from milk. Another scientific myth. A liter of milk has got 980 milligrams to maybe 1.1 1010 milligrams. That means if you take 1 liter of milk, you drink 1 liter of milk, you can at the most get 1 gram of calcium. At the most, why I am using the word is because you cannot absorb all of it. It's only 180 to 212 milligrams you can absorb. The remaining all is going out. So getting calcium from milk means by now no one should have any calcium related problems in the world. Well, everyone is drinking liters and liters of it. Not only liters, they are also making concentration of the milk into paneer. You need 2-3 liters to get 100 or 200 grams of paneer. So people are eating paneer tikka, paneer this, paneer that, grams and grams, 100 grams all here. So, but then you go to doctor, oh, you have a calcium problem, take supplement. Then supplement business is $1 billion. So what happened to the milk? What happened to the milk that you have been drinking and pouring into your mouths of babies? And this is the analysis that we forgot. No one is doing, including doctors. So calcium tablets are okay, but we have created a vitamin. Without milk, you cannot get calcium is the thing. So only milk has calcium, nothing else has got calcium in this world. In fact, you have 10 times more calcium available in sesame seeds. And if you eat 100 grams, all the 10 grams can be absorbed because that's how we are designed. So instead of drinking 1 liter of milk, you can just eat 100 grams of sesame seed a week. You have 10 times more calcium in your body than. So no doctor has told anyone to eat till laddu for calcium. In fact, we have just done the opposite. All the women, men who have problems with calcium absorption and then osteoporosis, lysis, pusis, all kinds of names. Confuse you. different లాటిన్ పదము ఇంగ్లీష్ పదం పెట్టి కన్ఫ్యూజ్ చేసి డాక్టర్లకు కూడా తెలియదు వాళ్ళు ఏం వాడుతున్నారు. So you have created all this and the solution is not there. So you give a lady who was bedding like this, oh you have this, you have that problem, this problem. That lady had actually cancer, cervical cancer. So we designed the food. I haven't come to the real food, I'm talking about milk only. So calcium, this is the myth that these doctors and science is creating to the human race. They've been misled. Because these are the questions that I keep getting. So, calcium vitamin B12, oh all are having now vitamin B12 deficiency. All at a sudden. And where does vitamin B12 come from? మాంసం తింటే దొరుకుతుంది. మాంసంలో విటమిన్ B12 చాలా. అందరూ తింటున్నారు కదా మాంసం. All over the world people are eating meat left and right, center. Each one kilos consuming. Hyderabad alone consumed 1.8 lakh tons of meat in 1 year. 1.8 lakh tons of meat. And in India, people don't eat meat as much as other countries do. Cobalamin. ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తున్నాం? మాంసంలోనే ఉండేది. Vegetarians don't have. But all the people who are eating meat have also got vitamin B12. That means what? You are not able to absorb. Vitamin B12 is there in the meat. Then all are eating meat, kilos. But everyone, B12 business is booming. That means this pharmaceutical companies made B12 tablet, they want to sell it. So you have less pumping. Same thing with calcium, same thing with something. Vitamin D, oh, you don't have vitamin D. You go into the sun, vitamin D comes. So doctor can happily tell, go to the sun. They are not telling. Oh, my software company, we cannot go into the sun. So, all the software people who will not see the sun should take vitamin D. It has become a protocol now. See how businesses, there is no problem of vitamin B, but we are creating there is a problem of vitamin D, vitamin B, tablet pump. So, you keep going to the doctors, they keep giving you tablets. But where did you lose your health? You have lost health in the kitchen. The right food is gone. Now it has become industrial food culture. There is no kitchen in America, there is no kitchen in France, there is no kitchen. You have only bedrooms and attached bathrooms. Why? When you are eating this kind of foods, your nervous system, your hormonal imbalance, you cannot hold your own urine. So, bed pakkaniche. Urine just escapes. The moment it signals, why all these problems? Japanese have got one step further. They have got the toilet under the bed. Just press the button. I am trying to make fun out of this, but the situation is very serious. Very, very serious. And we are all not being concerned about it. Because our attention has been completely diverted by these big companies. They have centralized food production. They have centralized food processing. They have centralized even the distribution. So called Zomato, the food comes. Sadly, these habits have been percolating at a very high, fast speed, even into the remote villages of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Even the so-called poor countries have not been affected. So now if you come to India, villages, they are eating pizza, they are eating subway, submarines, whatever. So we have forgotten our food materials, our food practices. Everything is not gotten out of the window. We, all over the world, all the practices of earlier generations have been thrown out through the main door. So if someone says, I'm eating ambali, you are looked down. If someone says, my wife is cooking in the house, oh, your wife cooks in the house? What else you do in the house? I mean, cooking is looked down upon by this industrial food culture. I mean, you have to call up Zomato and bring the food. And that's okay. Well, my wife is very busy, so she just called on Zomato. We ate pizza. We ate noodles. This is given more importance, high respect. These high societies are creating this absolutely nonsensical, unscientific methods in the human brain. So if you could make Nuulu, soak it and grind it, make the milk, and then add little bit of curds you will make నువ్వుల పాల పెరుగు వస్తుంది. నువ్వుల పాల నుంచి పెరుగు వస్తుంది. And if you consume that curds, you will have vitamin B12 so much so that even if you drink once a week, your vitamin B12 will be solved the problem. కొబ్బరి పాలతో పెరుగు చేయండి. వారానికి ఒక్కసారి ఇంత పాలు పెరుగు ఆ పెరుగు తాగితే మీకు విటమిన్ B12 is solved.
Can you say in English what you just said?
I am going to repeat. I am not going to go. I am going to be talking to you hours together. The problem is you are all completely uneducated. You were educated. Now you have come here and become uneducated. Now I have come here to educate you again. And this is the true story. This is the reality. Because I came here and from 11 o'clock I have been with some people came. They are asking me all these questions. In fact, people who have met me now know I am talking about all the questions that you have asked me. So protein ekkadi nunchi vastundi, calcium ekkadi nunchi vastundi. That means you are all being put into a different basket. And we are all thinking we are educated, we know we are in America, we know this, we know that, we know this. Absolutely you know nothing about food. So if only you make milk of sesame seed, or then Raju, I was telling him, sesame seed, where do you get sesame seeds here? You don't get it. So I just looked around, you see pine trees are so many. You get your pine nuts and soak them in the night, grind it, you get milk, period. And you make curds, you'll get vitamin B12 enough for 1 month if you drink twice. And it is the bacteria that makes vitamin B12, and that actually is easily absorbed. So you take these curds and you take 1 kilo of meat, vitamin B12 is there, vitamin B12 is here, but this is absorbable, that is not absorbable. So they have been fooling you because saying, oh, the vitamin B12 is there, just doesn't mean anything. If it is there, it should be easily available for our body to be absorbed. And that is the problem with all of us, and we have been fooled. You take tablets, it doesn't get into your body. So people have been taking calcium tablets. Well, why the hell there are problems? No one answers me. Now you give sesame seed laddu once a week. As I told you, that lady got cured of cancer as well as she started walking up straight. In fact, after 3 weeks I couldn't recognize her because she was walking straight. Just 3 weeks. And she was being like this for the last 15 years. So this is what the real food does for you. That wellness enters your body. And we have been taught otherwise by these doctors, scientists. So all are being boxed in. You have to come out of the box. So you have to come out of the hospitals to be healthy. You go to hospitals, you will get cancers. Very simple. You want to be healthy? Go to nature. Naturally, you have to get things. That's how we are designed. Our systems are designed like that. So, we have been misled because there is no information now which was there before. And these informations and systems have been systematically wiped out on this planet by this designed industrial food culture. In the name of science, in the name of progress, in the name of development. So many are obese. 48 people out of 100 are obese in America. And it is not very different in other countries. India, where we used to have all lean and very quick moving people, now are all 28 girls out of 100 are obese now. I meant use the word very consciously, girls. And women, if you come, it is 41, it seems, even in India. The way they are supposed to be, they are not. That's what. These kind of statistics just mind-boggling. Just cannot, any concerned persons cannot get good sleep. Sadly, I have been receiving calls from various parts of villages that their girl babies are menstruating at the age of 4, 3. 2-year-old baby started bleeding through her vagina, not able to control. Doctors gave her steroid. It went on for 6 months and the baby became 38 kilos. 3 years age, 38 kilos. The problem is not solved. This story repeats in various levels, various dimensions, all over the human race. Men have been losing their sperm count slowly and steadily. I thought it's not slowly and steadily. By the next 2035, men cannot beget children because they have no sperms left. Germany is the standing example. Their average age is now 49. There are no kids. 150 million should be the sperm count. 1970, the average sperm count was 150 million. Now it is standing at 48 million. The whole human race. The women, they have mustache on their lips, no problem. Beauty parlors are popping up. Oh, we have hi-fi beauty parlors, laser technology to remove the mustache. And different chemical treatments going on and on and on and on. Why is there mustache on women's lips? No doctor is bothered, no scientist. Just hormone imbalance because of milk. So I generally declare, తెలుగులో అయితే కిక్ వస్తుంది చెప్పాను. మీరందరూ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు 6 నెలలు రేపటి నుంచి పాలు తాగకుండా ఉంటే సగానికి సగం హాస్పిటల్స్ని మనం క్లోజ్ చేయవచ్చు. This is anywhere in the world. బాగున్నావా బాబు, పొద్దున్న లేస్తే కాఫీలు టీలు తాగుతుంటే వాళ్ళ లైఫ్ ఎలా ఉంది? Without drinking coffee and tea, how can we lead our life? See, that is another biggest trap of the lady. These are caffeine. Either you drink coffee or tea, you are getting caffeine. Leaves 100 grams has got 8% more caffeine than 100 grams of coffee powder. So caffeine is not good. Everyone knows it is an alkaloid. It is a habit forming, just like your morphine, codeine, opiate drugs. It is one of the alkaloids. Just chocolate, your cocoa, it has got theobromine, another alkaloid. Now you know when you eat chocolate, you get hooked to it because your body wants that nerve is being completely becoming surrendering to this chemical. What it means is you get a kick. When you take chocolate, the theobromine goes and excites your nerve centers. And you get a good kick. The same kick you get if you mix fat and sugar. And you get a kick. You get a kick means you are happy for a moment. But then what happens to the nerve? It gets into trouble. So you keep drinking coffee. You get hooked to it. తాగిన 10 నిమిషాలు బాగుంటారు, మళ్ళా తాగాలి. So you become addicts. So once you start drinking coffee, you want to drink often, 3 times, 4 times. You get hooked to it. This is the colloquial words, but literally, scientifically, this is what is happening in the world. So if you stop drinking coffee, tea, half of your immunity problems, and sugar is the ultimate killer. Sugar is actually the last penultimate product that your digestive process are designed to deliver. Sugar becomes glucose plus fructose in the body, last absorption, hydrolytic process. And then you are dumping sugar in your body up front in every. Not only me, the moment you get up, you are brushing your teeth. You take a plastic brush and lot of it is sugar. So the final product of a biochemical process, you are giving it in the upfront. Then what happens to this 108 designed hydrolytic steps to deliver is all being pushed. And that's how sugar is poison. So you're intending the steps to go this way. You have put the final product first. So the processes do not happen that way. And the excess glucose is supposed to be converted to glycogen, converted to be fat, converted to be meat. This is the base. After doing all that, you still have excess glucose because you are dumping yourself in the form of coffee, in the form of tea, in the form of toothpaste, in the form of bun, croissants, donuts, sugar. People are just indulging. I think more. Kale kilo. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? The Florida, they have spoiled their water resources just to make sugar. India alone produces 48 lakh tons of sugar. And it's not enough. We are still holding. How much we are? And that is the last thing you want to put into your mouth. And we all are going on trumpeting, we are living in a scientific world. You talk to anyone, is it scientific? You'd say anything. Oh, science doesn't, is it scientifically proven? And I don't know. No one asked any question. Sugar, is it scientifically proven to eat sugar? No one. No one till today asked, is eating sugar scientifically proven? Because I started telling, eat Siridhanya, millets. Is it scientifically proven? I don't know what is this science. Oh, some fellow has to write in a journal and then someone has science and that is becoming science. So why no one asked the question, sugar, is eating sugar scientific? No one answers me this question. No one asks me this question. And I have been asking this question for the last 25 years. No scientist comes out and says, don't eat sugar. No doctor says, don't eat. Oh, parvaledu. You take anything, you take this tablet. ఏమైనా తినో ఈ టాబ్లెట్ తీసుకో. And this is the last statement doctors are standing on. Because they are least bothered about what is going into your mouth. You have this problem, you take this. We'll manage. And this is science for you, sir. This is the age of science. Oh, you are 21. Oh, Mangalgaran Poddun leste karkas cheyatli. We are all going to, with missile technology, this way, that way, but we are not able to shit properly in the morning. Why? Because we don't know what we are eating. We don't have wherewithal in our food. It is not designed to shit properly. We have no fiber at all. It is the fiber, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, that has to go and stick from your rectum to the large intestine, which becomes hydrophilic and starts doing the job, and so that your peristaltic movements in the rectum can happen very easily. So you can push or shit without any problem. But in America, they all are taking fiber tablets in the night. Why the hell they should do it? You should eat along with your food, the fiber should be there so that it comes out naturally. It is called nature call. Just go like that, come back. No. Once I go, it takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes. People are sitting in the toilets. That's why we have big toilet rooms. People are spending hours together. So much so that hemorrhoids and pipes and fissures and 38% people are having bleeding pipes. They're all constipated. The world is constipated. In fact, Dulcolax is the tablet making half the profits for all these pharmaceutical companies every year. What do we do? You have to have a fibrous grain that can make you shit properly. You have to have a grain which releases glucose slowly and steadily into your blood so that the excessive mechanisms of making extra glycogen, the extra triglycerides, the extra aromatic factors, the extra fat, the extra meat doesn't happen. And these extra are actually basis of all the diseases present today human race is facing. That means we have no control of glucose release into the bloodstream from the foods that you are consuming in the last 30-40 years, and that is the reason why all are becoming sick and young ones are also falling prey to the sickness, to the extent that your genetic passing in the form of sperm and ovum is also being disturbed, and that is the reason why you have autistic kids, 28% being born in the world right now, and no one has been connecting the food is the reason for all these diseases. No one cares. You drink milk, you eat eggs, you eat meat, eat different kinds of meat, no problem. So this is what has made me sick. Not analyzing, not confirming, not doing anything about what to eat, what not to eat. So if you know what you are eating is not right, then you will look for what is right. So why no one had the concern? When I first met a girl having menstruation at the age of 6, I couldn't sleep for a week. What kind of world we have created? And believe me, 98% of your gynecological problems will go away if you stop eating these foods. So what are the foods? Don't eat rice, don't eat meat, don't eat sugar, don't drink milk, don't eat eggs. Eggs are concentrating the hormones, steroidal hormones. Not just hormones, steroidal hormones. You see, many boys are nowadays behaving like girls because their hormone balance is off. Many men started getting breasts. Confusion. Because the food that you are eating is what is doing this. And inherently it is troubling the nervous system, it is troubling the endocrine glands, various diseases. Alzheimer's. Tell my wife, when did I marry you? How do you do? Forget it. Oh, after half an hour, oh, you are my wife. With this, ప్రజ్ఞనే కోల్పోతున్నాను. And nervous system not functioning. People are just shaking. They cannot eat their food. They cannot sign. All these things are deeply troubling our system. The core system of nervous system itself is being vexed. Paralysis, the nerves are breaking down. All because of the food. No one is stopping, no one is connecting this. So I have been lucky enough to treat thousands and thousands of people getting better and being well. The only thing I have been doing is telling them, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat it. బాగున్నావు డాక్టర్ ఇవన్నీ తినదు మన్ను తినాలా అని కూడా అడిగారు. No. Luckily, in India we have had the good luck of having the seeds that fit the definition of food. There is enough fiber which is interwoven and interlinked with the carbohydrates. When eaten right, releases glucose slow and steady in quantums, in aliquots, so that there is no disturbing the endocrine gland system at all. The release of glucose being completely regulated makes other parts of the body being at restful and functioning to their fullest efficiency without creating any dirt in the body, the metabolic activities. First thing is it doesn't generate the metabolic dirt, and whatever little dirt it generates is being cleaned by the soluble fiber that is floating in the blood given by these wonderful grains. So all the definitions that we first attempted to make about food, these wonderful grains have enough fiber, and it is not just available on the top layers, it is interwoven from the center of the grain to the periphery of the grain. And as the fiber comes onto the periphery, it becomes a matured fiber. Matured fiber, I mean lignans are also present in the wonderful grains. And what are lignans? Lignans are precursors of wood. And you know wood? If I am holding this and you pass current through me, nothing happens. Why? Because lignin is the most stabilizing chemical, the aromaticity being completely stabilizing. So the electron comes and just joins the pool of aromatic electrons there. So it loses itself. It's called actually PMF, proton motive force. So lignans are just precursors of lignin. That means the lignans will become lignin. అంటే ఆ చెట్టు మరగట్టడం అంటారు తెలుగులో. అది కావాలంటే lignans దే ఆర్ ప్రీకర్సర్స్, స్మాలర్ that are plenty of lignans are available in the fiber of these 5 grains. That's how no free radicals, no superoxide, all these cancer causing elements can be completely eliminated when you eat these 5 grains. So luckily we have figured this out. We have actually listed in the book 15 to 16 kinds of cancers, and then the food, and then kashaya. So everyone asked me, wow, coffee, tea, illa, then what else to do? Then we came up with natural decoctions of various kinds of leaves that have got wonderful healing properties of various systems. So the list of kashayams worked out for Indian context. So when we gave the book, all the American brethren of Indian war here, మాకు రావి దొరకట్లేదు, రావి ఎందుకు దొరుకుతుంది, ఆ ఊర్లో ఉండేది, ఈ ఊర్లో ఎందుకు? That doesn't belong here. Okay? So మీకు రావి ఆకు దొరకాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. You have to have the same family plant figured out here. So you have pine trees, you have maple leaf, you have some oak, live oak, what is it? I saw trees there. So we have to figure out another 20, 30 trees of the similar families that are being worked out, and then you have those kashayams. No, I will make powder of it, I will dry it, I will put preservatives and then come again. All that won't work. So you guys have to figure out the kashayams that are present in the local region and without any chemicals, and it is free for everyone. So there is basil for you, there is dillweed for you, there is mint for you, there is some orange trees, orange leaves are very good. You have like this, fresh leaves, tamalapaku, yeah, bitter leaves are there, and coriander sativum is there, and parsley is there, and rose families, Euphorbiaceae family, Gongura, Malvaceae, all this. So whatever, of course, I'm talking little bit of botany here. So if botanists are there, they understand what I'm saying. So you can figure out, just take the list that I have given, and you can see what are available in your Texas, or you go to Oregon, there may not be something present in Texas. In Oregon, there are different kinds of things. You go to Colorado, it is different. You go to Alaska, it is different. Still, wherever you go, there is fauna and flora. So you have to figure out these kashayams. And but this beautiful thing is, these 5 grains can be grown anywhere on this planet. Even in Himalayan conditions, you can grow kodo. In fact, kodo millet is called Himalayan. Foxtail millet is grown in Italian Alps and the open spaces of Italian Alps, in the valleys. Thousands of years ago, and it is called Italian millet. Colorado even today is growing brown top millet. Of course, they are feeding the birds. Brown top millet, one of the best millets, 12.5% of fiber, wonderful lignans are present, so it actually cures a lot of cancerous conditions. Wonderful brown top. It's not available because in India, no one knew that it can be eaten. Very few small pockets of people were eating. And because no one was eating, they also forgot to grow. So only I went back 25 years ago, got down to and went around villages and collected a small fistful of. See, if you don't put it onto the soil for 6 to 7 years, it loses the capacity to sprout. Once it cannot sprout, then there is no plant. In fact, that's how the whole world has lost wonderful food materials due to this pressure of industrial food culture. Because they are making in large quantities all these materials that has to be grown, material has to be grown and then processed naturally, locally, became costlier compared to this industrial food culture. So now rice is available in India for 20 rupees kilo. But for brown top millet, it doesn't work out because there is no subsidy, there is no government support. So if you want to grow a brown top millet, it becomes costly. You see everyone complains, oh, these are very costly. Actually, I fail to understand. There are a lot of Indian families who can make 6-figure salary. They also complain, millets are costly. They're costly because they are not growing. Because no farmer was given a single paisa if he was growing this. In fact, the sad story of Indian agriculture is because of 68% of farmers still today are rain-fed farmers. So they went on disappearing. They became defocused because the last 30-40 years, all the human populations have stopped eating locally grown foods. Everyone wants to eat rice. And these governments, in the name of subsidies, are making it available 2 rupees per kilo. It's not true. 2 rupees kilo, nothing comes. It's all companies have created these inflationary conditions. Because the government pays them money. So 2 rupees kilo, 1 rupee kilo, all this nonsense. But actually, in real terms, if you want to calculate the worth of the grain, you have to calculate in terms of water that it uses. So to grow 1 kilo of paddy rice, you need 9,000 liters of water. To grow 1 kilo of rice, you need 28,000 liters of water. That's how your Florida lakes have disappeared. They are growing too much. It's called sugar bowl of, they are growing sugar like left and right. Whole Florida is gone. The lakes have disappeared. It's such a wonderful place. Florida, it's known for its wonderful, natural, diversified water bodies. All have disappeared just because you're all eating donuts and drinking coffee. Not just you, all Americans included. No one is connecting them. In fact, coffee tea has killed our Madikeri. Our Kerala floods because of that. Because all big trees that were holding the land, they are gone. Tea estates, coffee estates. Tea estates, coffee estates, rubber estates. So monoculture came. The soil is not being held. When it rains, much rains. Our Madikeri just wiped out last year. Kerala wiped out. Because no scientist stood up and said, it's all because you are drinking coffee. So stopping to drink coffee and tea not only helps your health, it also builds our ecosystem. It makes the trees come back. So if you don't drink coffee only, the trees can come back. But then what are these environmental, oh, we have lost a lot of forest. Where did we lose? Oh, we have to plant. Now that has also become another business. Oh, you keep planting. There were plants before. 1970s, the tree top cover on this planet was 41%, I believe, 1950s to 70s. Then we have lost them in the last 40 years. So it's not good enough to plant trees on this earth. Unless you stop drinking coffee, tea, unless you stop making sugar, unless you stop making meat, and meat to make 1 kilo, you need to spend 50,000 liters of water. So you have to calculate the worth in terms of ecological damage that you are doing. Now there is no water available. You are lost. Where does it go? It doesn't go. It is a cycle. No? It has to come back to earth. It's not coming back to earth. It is being fed into the ocean directly. It is supposed to rain in the mountains and flow through rivers, then enter the ocean, come back. But now, the rain is not coming to the mountains because there are no trees. The rain is just falling into the ocean. The cycle is going on. Water has not gone in, not even a drop has escaped from this earth. It is there. But the distribution that was going on for thousands and thousands of years has been disturbed by human race activities, and that is nothing but making meat. Is the only and only reason. Only and only reason. No one is connecting these factors. So you want to save the planet? There's only one way. Stop eating all this. Okay, stop. We will stop. But what do we eat? We have figured out these things. And to grow these, you don't need water at all. 200 liters per kilo, it will give you 1 kilo. That means you give me that 9,000 liters of water that you are using to grow paddy rice, I will grow 30 kilos of siridhanya. Any siridhanya, 30 kilos. And each kilo of this grain, if you soak in the night, because it contains 12.5% of fiber, round top, 9% kodo millet, 8% foxtail millet, it absorbs water and just expands 43 to 50 grams of fiber is prepared. And that makes the rice 5 grains. Each person can eat 10 meals. And this paddy rice, 4 people will finish 1 kilo. That means the efficiency of growing 1 kilo, you grow 30 kilos, 30 into 10 meals, 300 meals with 9,000 liters of water. The same 9,000 liters if you eat paddy rice, you are eating say 5 people. That means 1:60. So in terms of natural resources, if you eat 1 kilo of paddy rice, you are consuming 60 times more natural resources. And that is the reason why global warming is taking place. And if we take 50,000 liters, it is 1,380 meals. So if you eat 1 kilo meat, you eat siridhanya, 1,380 meals. That means if you are eating meat, you are eating 1,380 fellows' food. This is the reason why we are depleting our resources. You keep talking this, that, this. It is not the cars, it is not the pollution that is generated by cars burning this, burning that. It is that we are not fixing that carbon dioxide that we are generating because we have taken away the plants. So everything is connected and you are the reason. Because what you are eating is the most unscientific thing that has been happening in the last 40, 50 years. And why it didn't happen earlier? Because we were eating scientifically. Local foods grow there, then itself, and everyone was eating these grains only. And this is the bigger logic that I want all of you to see. Luckily, it is curing your diseases, the so-called modern day diseases, cancer, HIV, IBS, Crohn's syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome. What is this? It is irritating your bowels. You don't know when to go to shit, when not to go to shit. And that is exactly because they don't know what is happening. If they don't know something, they call syndrome. They will give a different explanation, actually. They will define what is syndrome. But that's all there is. All these different kinds of troubles can be easily set right if you change your food. And most of the people get confused. What is your diet? What is your diet? Diet is a word which is very narrow. For a particular problem, for a particular period you eat, that is called diet. So, oh, I'm following your diet there, telling me. Don't follow my diet, I have no diet. I want you to change your food. Don't eat rice, don't eat milk, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat. Now, eat this, eat this, eat this. The complete change. I call this industrial food culture. I call this ecological food culture. So, from economic model to ecological model, if human race doesn't shift, in the next coming 20 years, a disaster is brewing, and you are all not even thinking about it. You are not aware of it. So, there was mustache on your lip, the sperm has been evaporating, autistic kids are being born, cancer has been growing, gangrene patients have become more in number, kidneys are failing, dialysis patients have become high in number. 18 people are getting dialysis on a daily basis. What more do you want? What more proof do you want to be convinced that what we are eating is not right? What more proof do you want that we are doing something wrong? And the 6-year-olds are menstruating. That itself should have been enough for the whole human race to sit, stop doing everything and then look for reason. No one has done it today. Despite my blowing my voice everywhere. Can this go on? So luckily for me, I have been going all around Karnataka and Andhra villages. Thousands and thousands of women have given up coffee and tea. And believe me, they have been calling my problem. I had this problem, it disappeared. I had this problem, it has gone. I had this problem, it has gone. I had a fibroid in my thing. I ate 6 months and then drank this kashayams. Doctor said it has to be removed. But now he says, where is this fibroid? It's not there. It's not. The other day there was a brain tumor patient. She was operated because she had a problem of seeing two people. The optic nerve got pressed, the tumor. They removed the tumor and then she said she is all right, but within 3 months she started seeing 3 people. After having gone through chemotherapy, radiotherapy, all that hangama. Then someone told her, go to Khadar, he will give you some kashayams and this and that. Then she came. She's a Muslim lady, like yaksu, biryani, all that stuff. So she said, okay, 3 months, I have to do this. She did kashayam, she ate, and then ate bronca millet and arka and all that. In 3 months, she said, I'm able to see only 1% clear. Very nice. Then she went to the doctor and he took MRI and said, oh, your tumor is not there. Where is it gone? How did it go? Then she said, I went to this fellow and he made me eat this and made me drink this kashayams. Then the fellow, don't go on eating this. Millets cause thyroid problem. He's telling me. She came back. Poor girl, she's on 23, 24. Sir, if I eat this, I will get thyroid problem. So tomorrow onwards, I will eat normal food. So what she thinks is I have made her eat abnormal food. I said, after eating this, your brain tumor has gone. They are able to see instead of 3-1. And that doctor says it comes thyroid and you want to change back. What more proof I want to give to these fellows? And there are 32 patients of thyroid on this planet now out of 100. They have not eaten any millets. And no one is asking why the hell these 32 people are thyroid patients. It's because of the milk, it's because of the wheat, it's because of the meat. No one is connecting. And these are the experts telling that millets cause thyroid. People don't know what millets are, how do they explain 32% of human race now has thyroid problem? They have not eaten. They are eating meat, they are eating milk, they are drinking coffee, tea, and no one is telling it's because of milk you have problem. What kind of logic are these so-called experts using? And we just like Kannadadalli basra. So this is what I call scientific myths. This industrial food culture, and all these people are part of it. And actually the story of thyroid problem is very simple. One fellow, some English doctor went to Africa, some African country, Sudan, I don't even know. He saw some 8 or 10 girls having goiter, some extra growth in the throat. He didn't do any experiments. He just went to them and asked, what are you doing? They said, we eat phony millet. There is a millet called phony millet in that country. He came back and wrote an article and put it into the medical journal. Medical journal publishes. They published. Millet causes goiter. Goitrogenous, millets are goitrogenous. Final conclusion. They don't even know what millets are. That fellow, he didn't even know what phony millet is. Then go on writing about this. And we have cured hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thyroid pain. And actually goiter and thyroid has no connection. It so happens you get that extra growth on the thyroid or around the thyroid. That is called goiter. You have goiter, you have thyroid, different. So they have connected now, millets cause thyroid. You eat little millet 3 days and remaining millets each 1 day, and take coconut milk regularly, your thyroid problem will disappear. You can throw away the tablets for life. No need for any tablet. Thousands and thousands have been helped by this food and taking coconut milk, or for that matter sesame seed. Yeah, I cannot make milk. You can drink the oil in the morning, 2-3 spoons of coconut oil. It will cure you. But don't go and get these refined oils. You will get cancer. Cancer you will. So you need to make the oil in a natural way. In our country we have this bullock-driven ganas. It takes 2 to 3 hours to get. If you dump 25 kilos of groundnut, you will get around 4 or 5 liters after 3 hours of this yaddus going round and round. The gun is 20 feet, it will be there, a big kattagan gun. Takes long time. And that is the oil which is processed at room temperature and pressure. Of course, now again technology, cold pressed. They will have machine running around, it is heating up, so we put water around, call it cold press. All kinds of hangama we do. But the real thing is there. So then what we do, we get diseases and then go to the doctors. Then what they do, they make tablets and give. Where is the health lost? In the real food materials. We have forgotten about that. So where do you get your health from? Going to doctors? It is the food. It is the right food growing practices. It is the food materials, the choice of the right food materials that gives you health. And if health were to be found in hospitals, why the numbers are increasing? WHO is actually announcing all this. 20% are diabetic, 30% are diabetic, 60% are diabetic. We are not saying this is WHO coming out of all these numbers. Every 5 years, they go on announcing a different list, different list, different list. What should have happened if what we were doing is to be right? The number should have. So by now we should not have had diabetic patients if we were to follow the right methods. So the numbers are increasing means what? We have been really unscientific in the last 30, 40 years. So if you eat the right food, do you really need medicine?
No.
You don't need medicine. So eat the right food. What is the right food? We have defined. That means till today, human race has not defined what food is. So if we define the right food and identify and eat that, these kinds of so-called diseases should disappear. And that's what we have proven in large numbers. Large numbers, not 100, 200, 300, thousands and thousands and thousands. But then people keep asking, what scientific proof do you have? I wanted to give scientific, I wrote and sent to any journal, no one wants to go. Oh, you have cured diabetes, what is the proof? This is the proof I am telling you. What is the proof? Only if they publish it becomes proof. Isn't it? Only if these people publish it becomes a proof. So I will never have scientific proof. Because I am saying diabetes is curable. Because we have created a system where they say diabetes is incurable. Now everyone believes diabetes is incurable. You go to a third class student and say, diabetes is curable. Hey, he will laugh. Am I right? And this is scientific. So many doctors have asked me, is that so simple? And I am telling, it is simpler than this. I have taken now almost 1 hour. I will tell you in 3 minutes. Stop all these industrial food materials. Eat 5 siridhanya and drink local kashayas. I mean local kashayas, not the same list that I have made in India. You cannot, I will make powder and then get it. Ravi is not available here. Gongura is not available here. I will make powder, dry it up, my mother will send. That's not going to work. So this is what you need to do here. You will have health coming into your bodies in a matter of 6 months to 2 years. Whatever may be the disease. According to me, they are all names for cancer, HIV, IBS, Crohn's, migraine, gangrene, heart block, and various names people are coming up with. Left eye there is a problem, right eye there is a problem. There is an expert for right eye, left eye there is an expert. Sarcoma, adenoma, blastoma. Yeah, myeloma. Different names. It's all cancer only. Different parts, different names. Why are we fooling ourselves? Why are we fooling? Because it's an establishment making billions and trillions of dollars. So do you think they would change? They would not. Do you want health? You go to them, what do? You will lose your money, nothing else. Because they are designing themselves to get money. Do you want real health? Please go to the farmers who can grow these grains. Different things, yellow, alasandalo, ulavaru, different gongura, kashaya, parijata, honge, all these things are the real health givers. And so what have we been doing? We have abandoned them. We have actually banned them. See, we have banned them because we are not buying anything that they grow. Not even one material you are taking from them. All that you want to eat is noodles, pizzas, burgers, milk, paneer, soybean, noodles. All these industrial food materials you are willing to pay. Pizza, 800 rupees, no problem. When I say Kodo millet, 200 rupees kilo, anto dabbula. Actually, I get upset. You are willing to pay. iPhone, 60,000 rupees, no problem. 6, i7, i8, i12. We are standing in line. అరే కొర్రలు తినండి రా మంచిది అంటే ఓ మా ఇంటికి రాలేదు, ఎవరు పంపించట్లేదు, మీ ఇంటికి తెచ్చి మీ నోట్లో వండి పెడతా. So it is not available in America. Why is it available? They are not bothered. You have to grow. Okay, if you don't grow, at least you pay some money, they will grow and send you. You are now actually, oh, inta double, anta double. Meer double iyyapothe inkevaraya double istaru naku. Who will take care of the farmers? So please, if not for the farmer, for your own sake, be willing to pay that little money, because once you pay that, you don't need to go to doctors. So please calculate, at least have that much patience to calculate that if I don't go to doctor per month is to save agattena. You can save this much money if you don't go to doctor. You know how much money that is? You know how much money that is? Just the diabetes alone, the pharmaceutical companies are making. In the year 2013 to 2014, March to March, so-called economic year, they have made $1,280 billion. And out of that, India's contribution is 1/3. That's an yes, sir. You are understanding the complicated, multi-dimensional problems we are facing. It's all because we have been looking at the problems in a different angle. And the real angle, the real scientific way of doing things has been thrown out into space, not out of the window, not out of the main door. We have no logic at all for our behavior on this planet. Absolutely unscientific. And the only logic is companies making money is the factor that is deciding the way we are behaving on this planet. Nothing else. Nothing else. And no one wants to stand up and say this is the only thing that is ruining us. Well, we are all very busy being tools of this economic model. So please wake up, come out of this slumber of economic model. There are a lot more wonderful things in the ecological model. Please come and participate into the ecological model. Save yourself and save the planet. Thank you. We'll continue.